Hi, it's your $2 Tuesday movie critic here with another movie for Oscar nominations 2025. So today I'm going to be looking at Oscar performances by an actress in a leading role. And the nominations are Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison for Anora, Demi Moore for The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. Okay, so let's start with Cynthia Erivo and the movie Wicked. I'm one of the few people that have never saw the stage play Wicked. I've never read the books, but I've heard about it since they began doing the stage plays at high schools around the United States, so probably around the world. So yeah, it's very, very popular, but I have never seen it. So this will be my first time seeing any Wicked in any form. And so I really, really enjoyed it. I honestly thought I wouldn't, and not because of the movie or the stage play or anything like that. It was when everybody's making all this big hype about Barbie. And when it came out, and I was really excited to see it because everybody's like, oh, it's such a great movie, oh, you get such feminist vibes and blah blah this and blah blah that. And while I enjoyed America Ferrera's speech, that is about the best part of the movie for me. Oh, and the dance parties, of course. So yeah, I was pretty disappointed from the Barbie movie. So I thought I might be disappointed by the Wicked movie, so I didn't even get my hopes up. I just went and watched it at the theater, which I'm so glad I did, because most of my movies I watched at home on streaming services. But I actually went to the movie theater and watched this one on the big screen, and I really loved it. So, in particular, Cynthia Erivo. I didn't expect such good acting in a musical. Not to say that because I love movie musicals. I love musicals, period. But yeah, it was just fabulous. I mean, it was so, I guess instead of saying good, I should say dramatic. It was quite dramatic acting for a musical, in my opinion. I loved how her character evolved over her phases in life. I especially loved her vulnerability in the dance scene she did. I was so scared for her then, and then so happy for her later on, because that was, I actually found myself holding my breath when she first got out there and started doing the dance, and I was like, oh my God, what are they gonna do to her? Because like I said, I'd never seen it before, and so it was beautiful. It was like hands down my most favorite part of that movie. Her acting only got better from there, just as the movie did. Yeah, I really enjoyed that movie, and I really, really loved Cynthia Erivo in that movie. Next actress, Carla Sofia Gascon in Amelia Perez. Now, Gascon's character was so mysterious from the very beginning, not just about who she was, because she was always honest about that. The mystery is in why she was doing what she was doing. There was no answer at the beginning. Just, are you in or are you out? She is so convincing and so committed to making her world better and those around her. I could not help loving Amelia Perez. Yeah, this movie, if you don't fall in love with Amelia Perez, then maybe you need to watch the movie again. And it was one of those movies that I will watch again. Okay. Next, Mikey Madison in Anora. This was no Oscar-worthy movie. This was no Oscar-winning performance. This was barely a performance. She kept doing the same thing over and over again. Strip, be with a guy, get naked, have sex with a guy, party, repeat. So yeah, and that was like most of the movie. Then add in yelling and fighting and take out get naked in those parts, and then you got the rest of the movie. She did fine with what she had. It was a weak role and a weak movie. Some people compared it to Pretty Woman. That the only comparison that they should make to Pretty Woman in this movie is there's a prostitute, which she says she's not a prostitute, she's a stripper. So there's that. And Julia Roberts, of course, played a prostitute in her movie. And you have a man buying each of these ladies' time. For what? Okay. Because she got her time bought for sex, just like Julia Roberts did. So she was a stripper turned prostitute. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, that's the only comparison. The comparison stopped there. I'm not saying she wasn't a good actress. I'm saying this was not a good role for an actress. This was a role for a stripper to play. I mean, and I'm not saying it because it was stripping and stuff involved, because I've seen movies about strippers before. Striptease, Demi Moore, the movie that Constance Wu and Jennifer Lopez did with the stripping. Those were good movies. This was not a good movie. There was barely any substance in this movie. Like, I don't know if you caught that, but there was barely any content worth looking at in this movie that wasn't just about stripping and having sex. But I digress. I don't know why she was nominated for an Oscar, just probably for the Generation Z group out there or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, on to the next. Demi Moore and the substance. The movie became more about the visual changes of the character rather than the acting ability of Demi Moore. The physicality was so jarring, especially during each switch. Acting really took a back seat. There were some instances where the character showed sadness, regret, and her anger, but eventually that just seemed to be more of the same. I never felt empathy for Elizabeth or Sue, which were the two characters in the movie, but at times I did feel sympathetic and disgust. To me, this movie is a new take on the movie Death Becomes Her. If you've ever seen that, that's starring Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep and Bruce Willis. I liked one movie way better than the other. Death Becomes Her, of course. I never want to see The Substance again, and I mean that with every part of my being. I never want to see that movie again. It was so disturbing. The more it played, the more disturbing it became. That was a movie I watched at home, and I'm glad I did. I almost stopped it, but I didn't. I said I'm going through to watch it, but yeah. No, this was... no. Okay, and then last but not least, Fernanda Torres in I'm Still Here. She played her part masterfully. I hope she has won other awards for this role thus far. She plays the real woman whose husband is taken away from her family and she must pick up the pieces. As she protects her 5 children, she also finds a way to fight the systems that have hurt her families and families like hers and people like her husband. So, yeah, this was a beautiful movie. So beautiful. Carla Sofia Gascon has too much bad publicity right now. I honestly don't know what the bad publicity is. I just know that people were talking about she went onto social media and started making a lot of negative comments about things, probably in the whole environment that we're in right now, which doesn't surprise me. I just would have hoped maybe she would have done it after the Oscars, after the last award show, or even, but then she maybe felt like she wouldn't have a platform then, or a platform rather. So, unfortunately, it kind of like took some hits to her movie, in the long run. Okay, so the movie Anora is awful. And the role of Mikey Madison is not Oscar worthy, at least not in the traditional Oscars. Demi Moore's acting is fine, but her storyline is so varied and weird. For me, it is between Cynthia Erivo, that brings depth to Wicked, and Fernanda Torres, whose character is so heartfelt and and generous. For me, it would be Fernando Torres in the end. And that's only because I don't think they would give a best Oscar award to someone that played in a movie musical. At least nowadays. It has been done in the past, of course, but you know. So anyway, that would be my pick. Let me know what you think in the comments. And, and I hope to see you next time.